drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Hello, you guys. Hello. I am super pumped that you guys are here. Welcome. Let's record this show. I'm so pumped that you guys, and guys, that is no joke. The goal over the next 2 days is you to come out with new thoughts about yourself, about your beliefs, about your truth, about the stories you've been telling yourself, about which are real and which ones are totally made up by someone else and put on you, and they make no actual sense. I want you to come out of the next 2 days with what it means to just have true, unconditional faith in yourself, in the energy source that you are working with, and to just understand what it's like to have and be in a state of joy. Because guess what? That is your truth. That is what you were designed for. That's why you are here. That's why you are here. You are not here to play small. You are not here to you're not here to just be and to settle. You are here to thrive. And you have been given every single thing that you need in order to get it done. That is the truth. You have everything you need. So now I'm not here to just pump you up and send you out to the wolves. Okay? I'm not interested in Band-Aid fixes. We are here to get to the root of what you are made for. What you are made of. I want you to leave here with the tools that are going to give you the results that you need for your entire life. Because guys, guess what? This gets to be easy. This gets to get in the habit of things being hard. And then we think that this is the way it's supposed to be, and it's not. Overcoming your limiting beliefs and truly understanding your greatness, your strengths, your abilities. These are simple pieces that when you grasp them, it. And maybe you're here and you're like, oh, but I do get results. I have a great job. I did things in all the right order, school, and I got married and I had the babies and the things. Whose order is that? Is that your order? Is that your truth? Or is it the way we're programmed? And it's not right or wrong. Guys, trust me. Oh my gosh. Up until yesterday, this is what I tell my subconscious. I did all the things in all the right order. And my answer to everything was, oh, I'll just go back to school for that. And then I found myself in this real predicament where I had everything to be grateful for and I felt stuck. I had the awesome job, working for the government. So then you're really safe, right? I had the great job. I had married to the love of my life, 2 beautiful babies. All this passion and energy was becoming this expert ladder climber in corporate land. I was thriving, I thought. And I kept saying to myself, why do I feel meh? Like I'm just getting up and I'm rushing to get the kids to daycare and then rushing to get to work and then rushing to do my work so I get it done in time so I can rush to go get the kids at daycare and then rush to get home and then go watch some TV and then go to sleep and then wake up and do it all over again. this is like the cycle. I was like there, and I remember saying to myself, there's got to be something more. I have all these things in me. I can feel them. I don't know what to call them. I now know what to call them, but I didn't then. I was like, I don't know what this is called. I just have this feeling that I'm supposed to be doing more, and I'm supposed to be having a bigger impact, and I'm supposed to be. Why do I feel this way? But the fact is I put myself in this box, and I had the tools within me, kind of like Dorothy and her ruby slippers, right? Game changer moment when Glenda at the end is like, you had what you needed all along. And Dorothy's like, dude, why didn't you tell me that? I've been clicking my heels an hour and a half ago. Beginning of the movie, done. But she had lessons to learn. But she had it within her all along to get home. Just like you have it in you to get done what you want to get done. So over the next 2 days, we are going to dive into what stories have you created for yourself that are serving you and which ones you haven't. And how do you move past that? Okay, so I'm going to honor your time. We're only going to be an hour today, I promise. I will have you out of here. You also have a workbook. If you don't have your workbook, you're like, workbook, what? Register for the event. We're going to put it in the chat. I want you to register. And when you register, you'll get emailed the workbook and you'll get emailed the replays. So even if you're like, dang, I missed a part, or I wish you would say that part over again, you can just replay it. Okay? And then I'm going to give you homework because like I'm going to change your whole existence in 2 hours. I'm going to try my best. Okay? But I'm going to give you guys some homework. And when you do it, post it and tag me in it, you could actually win memberships to the High Vibe Society, which is the best place to be. I see you over Zoom. We've got a lot of members of the High Vibe Society in here. Are we not the best group ever? We are the best group ever. We're like so fun. Let me first put it in the chat. Yes. Yes. We are the best group of high vibrational people that have a goal. They know where they're going. We've identified their purpose. Yes, yes, yes. Look at all this. We've identified their purpose and they are going after it. Not everybody's purpose is the same. Yes. Look at the high vibers on Instagram. I love it. Not everybody has the same purpose. Your purpose doesn't change. You've had your purpose. And for the moms out there, if you dare tell me, my purpose is mom, it's not. It's not. Because you had a purpose before you were a mom. And guess what? When your kids grown and living their lives, your purpose is still going to exist. And your purpose is still going to be there after you retire. So if you're like, what? I'm retiring from my purpose. You never retire from your purpose. How's that? How is that? You will never retire from your purpose. I know that's a big pill to swallow for all of you that are like, what? I have like 4 years left, 3 hours and 19 minutes till I retire. Nope, still gonna have a purpose. Promise you. The goal here is to get you on purpose, identify what you look like, and go after it. No selling. Because you deserve to live the life you want to live. No one can decide this for you. It's crazy, right? Just like crazy to Lynn spouting off these crazy thoughts. Here she goes again. Okay, but what I want to do today is I really want to leverage and reflect on what it means to what you want, expectations, and how your thoughts on yourself are formed. Okay, and then tomorrow we are going to release them. We are going to release all the things that are not serving you and create the new self-image of the you, the true you that you're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That you adore and has zero limitations and you. So over the next 2 days, we are going to dig deep. that you can overcome your limiting beliefs and take control of your life to uncover your true self so you can shine from within. If you're going, but my partner helps me do this, and right, Isabella, you nailed it. It's 11:11. Oh. Anyways, I digress. I got my peeps over here pointing out the obvious. So when you're like, oh, my partner, does this, and government does this, and my manager does this, and my kids do this, and guys, the fact that if you're happy with them, that's a perk. Because guess where it starts? With you. Everything starts with you. I want you to assume from this moment on that if you were given a desire, that you were meant to have it. No sacrifices. Okay, I want you to reflect just for a hot second about what you believe true greatness is to you. Do you believe that everything that you've been given, every circumstance that's happened in your life, whether it's been good or bad or whatever you perceive it to be, do you believe that it happened for you? That it was an opportunity for you to grow, to uncover your true self? So I talk a lot about creating her, but it's not much a creation as it is an uncovering. Okay, so I went to the old Google machine, and I looked up what growth actually is. Okay, so or process or a manner of growing, development, and gradual increase. It is something that's layered, one on top of each other. But what does that actually mean? Because really, it's going to mean something different to every single one of us. For me, my growth is my uniqueness. It's my way of using the energy source that's flowing to and through me to live out my life's purpose. Because unlike the dog sitting at my feet, which he's always sitting at my feet, anybody else have one of those? Anyways, he's sitting at my feet right now. The difference between him and I, right? We both have organs. We both stick. We both have desires. Like his are to like eat and sleep and to be pet on his belly. Okay. The difference between him and I is that I get to decide where I'm going. And I get to pivot and change at any point. I decide what my life looks and feels like, me. And even though I might choose to show up in a similar space to someone else, I'm not going to do it the way they do it. Do you know how many mindset coaches there are out there? But guess what? They don't do it like I do it. Like I am kick-ass, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. And that's not cocky. That's just me knowing in my entire being how committed I am to stepping into who I'm meant to be, zero distractions. Whatever your service is, you gotta know that you are the kick-ass version of that. And there's zero competition. There's none. Do you know how grateful I am to the mindset coaches out there? Because guess what, guys? We got a lot of work to do. A lot. Yes, Patricia, you are what you believe. You are meant to rock this life in a way that only you can do it. And it's not going to come from outside of you. It comes from within. The magic happens when you grow yourself from the inside out, not the other way around. And here's the thing, growth is not actually an option, yet it appears in life that many think that it is. Okay, imagine now what your life would look like if you lived it on your terms. That irresistible power that is flowing to and through you to be, do, and have anything you want. Can you imagine if you knew how to do that? Wouldn't you kind of feel like you're invincible? Because you kind of are. Like your meat stick isn't, like our body, that thing that we give all the attention to. It has to look a certain way and feel a certain way and have like zero wrinkles and zero dimples and zero scars. But that's just the aftermath. It is actually just a manifestation of what you're thinking about. Okay, you have no limits. Your life is dependent on how you see yourself, your self image. And I talk to people all the time about their goals. I love to talk to people about their goals. It's my favorite. But everybody wants freedom, specifically time freedom, financial freedom. I hear those ones all the time. But what does that mean? How many people, if we have time and no money, we'll be stuck. There's lots of people especially over the last 2 years, right? They had tons of time to do all the things, right? But they were like, I have no money. And there's lots of people out there that have the money and they have no time. I'm so busy. How many people do you know where you like haven't seen them in a quadrillion years? You're like, hey, how's it going? Oh my God, it's so busy. I'm like, busy doing what? And they can't tell you. If you are that person that's so busy, I want you to relate that word. Just start there. Your words matter, okay? Full. You live a full life, and then start looking at what is it full of. Because I can guarantee, like I used to be like a list maker extraordinaire. I had lists for my lists. Yes, Denise, busy getting ready. Right? We're always getting ready to get ready. The goal is to have both and for it to be easy. Okay, so there's 3 key questions I want to cover with you. Okay, first, how does your self image impact your life? How is your self image formed? And how is your self image changed? Okay, so first things first. Okay, first, how does your self image impact your life? It impacts every aspect of your life. Okay, how you show up consciously and subconsciously, mostly subconsciously, this determines everything. I'm living proof of this. You're living proof of this. I can only speak for me, but I know for me, I needed to change my self-image before I could even imagine getting out of life what I want. Like you see me here now, like showing up, but all of this message, it all came together and I started to use my imagination. And my imagination, your imagination, the thing we think is only for kids, it is 100% limited by your self-image. When I started my own business, I had very fixed results. I see it at the time, but they were like I had created this ceiling for myself. Here I thought I was leaving corporate to like break the ceiling, but my self-image had already created a ceiling. Don't get me wrong, our society still creates ceilings. Like even for you entrepreneurs out there, you'll create your own ceiling. Like I had a money ceiling that I had created and I didn't even know it. And it all fell back on my self-image. And this is ultimately what led me to search out this material. So example, so when I worked in corporate healthcare, I was making 100K. Okay. And then when I went out and I was just going to break the ceiling and just do all my things, I made more than 100K, but then I attracted in so many outside things that like I had to start spending money all over. And guess what? At the end of the year, when I like looked at everything, guess how much I earned? Okay. My self image was set there. And it's not just with money, you guys. You have it with relationships. It's why you've dated the same person over and over again, just in a different body. I know I used to. 100%. You do it with your jobs. We think, oh, I'm going to leave this job to get this job. And even though I don't get paid as much, it's going to give me this. And we put this on the pedestal when we want. Either way, you've set a standard for yourself. Okay. And this isn't something I'm just talking to you guys about. This is something that I work out every single day of my life. Every single day. Where I come from, I was taught that if you want more, you have to work more hours. You have to get more education. So I did that. I went and got my degrees, went back, got some masters. What I needed to master was myself. That's what got me the results. The master's degree got me certain jobs, but I was in that job going, what's next? There's got to be something more than this. And it was through my study of myself that actually caused me to look at who I wanted to be on the outside, but it started from the inside. Okay? You aren't the letters behind the end of your name. You aren't your name. You aren't your body. You aren't the job title you have. Even if that job title is mom or dad or wife or husband, that's not who you are. Not at the core of you. And when I started asking myself this question, like, okay, I have all the things, so why do I feel this way? Well, feeling is a word that us humans have used to describe our vibration. If I'm feeling happy and excited and pumped up and enthusiastic, I'm vibing high. If I'm feeling sad, depressed, anxious, I'm vibing low. And when I realized that, it was like, and I realized I had this power to be able to shift from one to the other. And you can do the same. You can bring your true self to the surface. So who are you? You are a mass of energy. You are a mass amount of cells. Our meat stick, that's what I call my body, my meat stick. Okay. And it's just a mass amount of cells vibrating at a high rate. That's the law of vibration. Everything is vibrating, nothing rests. Okay. And you are functioning on frequencies. Okay. Like a telephone, right? You always hear that with the telephone. Okay. So if I want to call Patricia, I can't dial Denise's number. I'm not going to get Patricia. Okay. You will become a vibrational match for whatever else is vibrating on that wavelength. So for those of you that are growing teams and you're like, why do I keep attracting in the same type of person? Guys, like attracts like. This is why it starts with you. Grow yourself, set your standard, decide on yourself, like determine your self image, create that person who's like attracted in the most kick-ass ever. And guess what? Like attracts like. You will attract the people that are already vibrating up here that are just waiting for you. And then all of a sudden, it got easy. It got so easy. And we all know those people, or we've seen those people that it just seems like everything, like they're like in unicorn land, that everything just happens for them. Things don't just happen for them. And bad things don't happen to good people. Things happen to people. Okay? Everything that's happened in your life, whether it's felt great or not, has happened for you. And it's determined first with your thoughts. Like there's so many brilliant people in the world, that have varying opinions on so many things, but the one thing that they agree on is that we become what we think about all day long. It's like the universe is out there and it's just like doing its thing, growing trees, giving birth to things, planting seeds, watching it grow, doing its thing with the moon and the stars and the planets and all this stuff. And it's going, ooh, let's make sure the only time we respond to Delyn or to Aaron or to Isabella or to Shane, okay, we're anytime they think of something, we're going to give it to them. Deal? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay. Oh, there she goes, thinking about Dad again. Go, give her some more. Oh, there she goes, thinking she's fat, and get more. Oh, there she is. She's worried about health. Okay. Okay? It is constantly working all the time. The moon doesn't stop doing its thing. The sun doesn't stop doing its thing. The stars don't stop doing their thing. And this energy that's working for you doesn't ever stop, even when you're sleeping, especially when you're sleeping, actually. Okay, so let's talk about your mind for a second. Okay, so first, your mind isn't a thing. It's an activity and it exists in every single cell of your body. And because no one has ever seen the mind, right? Are you thinking of your brain right now? Yeah, it's not your brain. Stop that. Okay? It's confusing to most people, right? So if I said picture your mind, you're likely going to picture your brain, but that's not the truth. Okay? So there's actually, Dr. Fleet back in like the 1930s, he created this like most amazing visual. Okay? If you have your workbook, I have it in there with you, but I'm going to put it right here too. Okay. I know. How big of an artist am I? Ta-da! Meet the stick person. Okay. So here's your stick person, and you'll notice that this meat stick, this vast amount of cells vibrating at a high rate, is always something to focus on. So I'm going to go like, don't worry about that for a second. Okay. This is what I want you to focus on. Okay. So you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. Okay. Your conscious mind is what takes everything in. See these little sticks up here? This is your five senses. We see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Okay. And we're programmed as humans to go by, make our decisions based on what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch outside of us. This is what we are trained to make all decisions by. But I'm telling you that this conscious part, it's like 2% of what actually controls you. Okay? The big guns here in the subconscious mind, this is what is controlling everything. This is if you've heard of paradigms, this is where it lives. We've talked about self-image, that's where it lives. And it is like a thermostat, and it's controlling your life. 90% of everything you do is habitual. Like, even down to like when you get at night, you'll put the same cards, same order. When you put your pants on, you'll put the same leg in every day. Like, guys, everything we do is habitual. We're like robots. And yet we have this mind that gives us the ability to turn our thoughts into things. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, so your conscious mind, what I want you to know, it accepts or it can reject. Okay, so you see something and it doesn't align with your beliefs, you'll go, oh, I reject that. But if you're like not sure, you're like, oh, I might accept it, I might reject it, I'm not really sure. Okay, so your conscious mind, as it's taking stuff in, it can accept or reject. But your subconscious mind, it accepts everything. It accepts everything that you attach an emotion to, or anything that is repeated to you over and over and over and over and over again. Right? It's how you learned your name. Like, my parents didn't just say to me, okay, baby Delyn, that's your name. We're never going to say it to you ever again. Eventually I learned, oh, when they say that sound, guess they're talking to me. It's how I taught my dog his name too. Isn't that really so smart? Okay, so this is where anything you would attach an emotion to as well, it goes through the sub. Okay, and this is powerful. Viktor Frankl, he was a Jewish attorney and he was taken prisoner in the Second World War. And he said that no matter the torture that he endured, there's one that he always had, and that was his thoughts. No one can make you think anything. Write that down. No one can make me think anything. So I have two girls, they're 8 and 10, and they are constantly, Izzy made me feel this way. Allie made me feel this way. And I'm like, girls, oh, I'd like to think that I gave you that power, but you know what? I really didn't. Hard no on that one. The fact is that one did something to the other and the other got emotionally involved in it and they accepted it as truth. And then it messed with their frequency. It messed with their vibration. It made them sad. But they didn't do that to you. You're the one that accepted it into your subconscious mind and it set up your vibration. You did it. So when we start giving our power away, so if you have that, like everybody has that person, just even when you think of them, everybody do it right now. Think of someone that you just like can't even stand. Like I'm thinking of this one person. I don't know why I can't really stand them, but I'm like, there's something about them, right? I can feel myself like, oh. Now think of someone that you love, that brings you joy. Something that you love. Right? I think of my dog, my kids, I'm there. Think of a beach. And it totally shifted my vibration. It shifted my energy. Okay, so this is where I want you guys to recognize your desire comes from within you. It just came from your thinking just now. There was, as far as I know, you guys just watched me. I didn't leave the seat. And yet I can tell you that my frequency changed by my thinking. Have you guys ever had an instance where something happens to you and then like and it makes you really mad, and then like 2 days later, just even you're not even in the situation, maybe it's even resolved, but you think about it and you're like, son of a, then you're just like in there again. Your heart's racing, maybe you're sweating a little bit, and you're in there and you're like, what the, right? It's done. Okay, this is part of you were given these higher faculties. Okay, and we're going to talk more about that one tomorrow, but like you were given these abilities, but we're not using them in a way that's actually going to move us forward. Our 5 senses are only here to keep us in the now. They have us right now. They keep me safe. I can see the train coming. I'm not going to walk in front of it. I can smell the smoke. I'm going to get out of there. Right? Like I can touch the hot stove and it keeps me safe. But these faculties, although they're important to keep you safe now, they are not the faculties that are going to move you forward. You get to accept everything that is going to move you forward and reject anything that isn't. Okay, but remember, this part of your mind that controls everything, and there's a reason these aren't flip-flopped. It has to go conscious mind, subconscious mind, body. It doesn't even go upward. It doesn't go body, subconscious, conscious. Okay, and it's all controlled by your self-image. Okay, so second part, how is your self-image formed? This, you're going to have to think a little while back. Okay, picture yourself as a baby. Okay, brand new baby coming into the world, zero preconceived thoughts about anything. You're like, I lived in a sack of water for the last 9 months, and all I know is when I get out. And if you've ever watched a video, even if you haven't given birth, you can like YouTube this too. If you've ever watched a baby be born and they put the baby on like in the mother's stomach, that baby will like worm its way up because it doesn't have the capabilities to like walk up. It'll worm its way up and like find the breast because its instinct is, I just got to eat. Instinct. Doesn't know anything, but knows automatically how to keep itself alive. Doesn't even know what milk is. Doesn't know anything else. Okay. It knows how to do this instinctually. We see this in the animal kingdom all the time as well. Okay. So you were a brand new baby at one point. Okay. And what actually happened was your conscious mind just take it right off, right? Take it right off. Okay. Your sub wide open. Everything's just going in. And there's an author who said, in the absence of a clearly defined goal, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until we ultimately become enslaved by it. Okay. As a child, that's all we did. We took in daily trivia. Right or wrong, good or bad, doesn't really matter. Nothing really is right or wrong, good or bad. It just is. But think of yourself now. You are a product of your environment. Why do you love the food that you eat? Well, because someone in your family tree somewhere decided that they liked it and then they constantly exposed you to it. It's the same way you learned your habits, your fears, the way you show up. And these were all ingrained in you by the time you were 7 or 8 years old. Environment is arguably more important than heredity because we are literally not programmed until we get here. I mean, there's epigenetics, but that's like a whole other conversation. Okay. But this programming of habits, this is called your paradigm, your self-image. Okay. And this programming is, like I said, it's laid out in your first 7 or 8 years. And it can be called many things, but it's ultimately a series of habits. And it's the stories that we tell ourselves based on our own perceptions. But the thing is, because we were so young, when we were taking all of this stuff in, we were looking through it with young eyes who had very little experience. So who knows what we were actually thinking at the time. But like a sponge, we always say to kids, oh my gosh, they're like little sponges, little sponges. You were a little sponge too. And you took everything in. You took everything into your conscious mind. However, now 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, however old you are, you've been now reinforcing these thoughts over and over and over again, even if they're not true. Okay, so like I said, your paradigm, it's like a thermostat. It's controlling the temperature of your life. If you look at the work that you do, you might even be at a similar field. I had lots of friends growing up that they're teachers because their parents were teachers. They were nurses because their parents were nurses. They work in emergency services because their parents worked in emergency services, right? Like we were just programmed to think, do, and act in a certain way. So a lot of people aren't even doing what they are on purpose to do. They're doing what their parents and grandparents did, but in a completely different time. And it's not about, before you go down that rabbit hole of like, damn mom and dad for programming me, like before you even go there, it's your parents, your grandparents, their paradigms too. They're a stick person. I know we put them up on this pedestal, but guess what? They're a stick person. And every single stick person is doing the best they can with their current level of awareness. Period. But the fact is that we are all designed the exact same way. And when we know better, we do better. But the majority of humans are letting these stories run their lives. Right? So we desire time and financial freedom. And on the other hand, money, the root of all. Milk does the body. That's just good marketing. That's not true there. Don't drink milk. Okay. Life is hard. Whatever the story is that you were told, right? Like make more money, they had to put in more hours. That was it. But are these stories true? No. The fact is that as humans, we are the highest creation that we know of. And science is showing us that our brain is is designed like unlike any other species on the planet. Like we literally have limitless potential, even if it doesn't make sense. So sure, money doesn't grow on trees. No, because that would mean that money is paper and money isn't paper. Money is energy, just like everything else. This is why we can e-transfer each other. Tap a piece of plastic. That's why we can tap. Like we don't even need to type things in anymore. Okay? Fact is though, you might be saying, well, money doesn't matter. That's also a story. Because like, if I said to you, what do you want? Even if you were like, I want a house that I love, or I want to drive a car I want my kids to be able to take dance. Guess what? All that stuff costs money. I want to donate and build houses in Africa. Great. Also costs money. You don't need to be driven by the money. So even if me talking about money makes you go like, oh, like she keeps talking about money, money is just a common thing that everybody's thinking about. And that's okay. You don't have to be attached to the money. You can be attached to what you're going to do with it, because guess what? It's an amplifier. It makes you more of what you already are. So guess what? If you're an awesome person, do awesome things. So go make a ton of it and be awesome. There you go. Total permission. That's what you needed. Go do that. Okay. Like I said, a perfect example of someone that had a bunch of letters behind my name, but until the last 5 years, I had no clue how to apply them. I got those letters like 20 years ago. I've been exposed to this material, or I think I understood it because I read that book. I went to that seminar. Oh, I had Tony Robbins there to check the things off my list. But I wasn't getting the results because my programming is stronger than any book I'm going to read. And I didn't know how to study, like actually study. And then my husband, on the other hand, he's a high school graduate, brilliant guy. Decided not to go get all the letters at the end of his name. Got right into entrepreneurship and huge success, doing his thing. One of the most brilliant people that I've ever spoken to. So what? I love what Elon Musk actually said. Having a degree does not make you intelligent. I don't know. He might know what he's talking about, right? He's kind of got a lot of money. You get to decide what this time, like you got this meat stick for 100 years. What are you going to do with it? You were not meant to grind it out for 30 and then retire. You were not meant to do whatever for even, forget 30 years. Don't do what you're not on purpose to do for 30 seconds. That's not why you were put here. Okay? Ask yourself the stories that you've told yourself and see if they're even true. And they're not. But someone told you that they were in your life, and then the law of attraction kicked in. Where focus goes, energy flows. That's not just a catchy saying. It's the truth. You have evidence that money didn't grow on trees and that it was hard to earn and that people that had it were gross, and you attracted in the people that made it gross. Evidence that it was true, even if it wasn't. And you always will. Okay? If you have a money block, which majority of you probably do, and that's okay, I want you to like really truly ask yourself, like, what is money? I want you to affirm to yourself that money is an amazing tool that flows to you, and recognize that it comes through things, right? Like it comes, like for me, when I was 12, it came through babysitting. And then I helped farmers in their fields and it came through that. And then I got a job in a retail store and it came through that. And then I was a tutor in university, it came through that. Then I got a job at the hospital, it came through that. Right? Like money comes through things. And it can come through multiple things. This is what multiple streams of income are. But that's the law of attraction. We are taught to live out of these five senses and then do everything based on them. We are living from the outside in, but we need to live from the inside out. Guys, you have these 6 brilliant higher faculties, okay? Your perception, your will, your imagination, your memory, your intuition, and your reasoning. Okay, and if you work on developing these faculties, I can guarantee where you will go. You'll go wherever you want. You don't have to know how you're going to get everything that you want. I get it. If I didn't know the whole plan, I didn't do any of it. I'm like, but I got to know the whole, you don't need to know the whole plan. You just need to know where you're going and then use these higher faculties, work with the universal laws instead of trying to like fight against them. I don't know about you. I'm not about to go fist fight with the universe, but whatever. I always ask myself, like, who am I to think I can't have everything that I want? But you know what? I very clearly remember, like, being a little child and my parents saying to me, I know what you want all the time. I should have looked back at them and said, yes, I do. Yes, I can. I think they were trying to teach me a lesson, but it was actually programming me. You get to be, do, and have anything you want. And you don't have to know the whole drive in order to get there. But you will attract in just everything you need when you need it. We want everything now. Could you imagine? It'd be like going to a restaurant and ordering all the food you're ever going to need ever. Why would you do that? You have the rest of your life to get to where you're going. You don't need to conquer it by sundown. And I promise you, when you get there, when you get your current reality was once a goal. And now you're here and now you're like, oh, what's next? What's next? And that's okay. It's not selfish. Write that down. I'm not selfish. It is good to want more. We are creators. We are the creator now. Everything's already created. And then we were given the ability to be the creator. The law of attraction, the law of vibration, these are the driving forces, you guys. And they state that everything is emotion, nothing else. We're all energy. We're all feeding off of one another. Okay, so just like, I know that if I drop this cup full of water, it is going to drop. If all of a sudden it flew to the ceiling, I would be like, what is happening? Okay, it's called gravity. And just like I know that it exists, I also know that what I think about will come about. If I can hold it in my mind, I can hold it in my hand. I know that everything here is already created. It's already here in one form or another. We just need someone to be able to become aware of it. We have always had, even when we were like cave people, Ooga, okay? We had everything we needed in order to airplane. Like the Wright brothers, they didn't create the law of whatever. I'm clearly ignorant in creation, but they didn't create the law. Aerodynamics, I think is what it's called. They didn't create steel or wood or whatever the first plane was made out of. They didn't create that. It was already created. They just became aware of how to put it all together and create a plane. Okay, everything is already created. So when we say someone invented something, it just means that they became aware of how to do it and they, put it all together. Marconi didn't create the ether. It was already created. He just became aware of it. By the way, his family and friends committed him to a mental institution. And now here we are. Look at us on the internet, talking through Zoom, talking through Facebook, talking through Instagram. Catch it on YouTube. And the guy that thought of this whole, like, what if we could communicate through vibration, through frequencies? What if we could do that? Mental institution. So even if your closest people want to commit you, I want you to keep going anyways. They don't get it, and that's okay. It's not good or bad. Don't get mad at your family because they're not supporting your business, or they don't get it. It's like talking to a wall. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. One day they will benefit from your persistence. And then they'll go, oh, did you see her? Oh my gosh, she totally rocked it. Yeah, I knew she would do it. I was so confident all along. That's okay too. Okay? You get to do you. And these laws are governing you. They're governing even your closest family that doesn't get it right now, and that's okay. And some of you are going, oh, great. Like, I don't know these laws. I don't know what I'm doing. What's going on? I'm totally screwed. What have I been thinking for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years? You want to know what you've been thinking about? Just look at your current reality. Okay? But you're not screwed. I got you. Because guess what? There's a law of polarity, a law of opposites that says everything has an opposite. Okay? Up, down, in, out, hot, cold, left, right. Okay? Everything has an opposite. So there's an opposite to what you've been thinking for your entire life. So point number 3, how do I change my self-image? Okay, so your self-image controls how you show up in the world. And even if you think highly of yourself, it's not the same thing. I mean, you want to love yourself, but you also want to get the results that you want as well. So you have to add on and tweak your image so that it is your future. You have a current standard for your life. We're going to develop a new standard. And then you're going to get to that standard, and then you'll do it again. Guys, I've already undergone 2 completely like huge paradigm shifts. 2. There was that point in time where like the world shut down for a couple of years and I didn't see people for a little bit. And I'm like, everybody's starting to get out now, right? And I saw that I hadn't seen for a while. And one of them looked at me and was like, you've changed. And I said, thank God. Could you imagine if you didn't change? Or they were like complaining about their partners. They're not the person I married. I'm like, good. You got married when you were like 25. You're 45. Why do you want to be 25 again? I hope your partner has gained some awareness over the last 20 years. Are you kidding me? Like, if I stop growing, just punch me in the face. Anybody, just walk up to me and just give it to me. Okay? You are here to grow. You are here to grow. Okay, so we have what's called, it's actually called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's a brilliant book, actually. Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Okay, so for those of you that are like always have to be reading something, grab that one up. It's brilliant. But he said that we have this control mechanism in our mind and it determines everything. Okay, so he was a cosmetic surgeon and he noticed that there was these psychological changes that happened in people when he did physical transformations on them. Okay, so he said that we have 2 self-images, the one we project to the world and the one that we hold inside. Okay, so your results are always a reflection of what's inside of you. That's why you have to shine from within. It's an inside job. Your results will always be a reflection of your inside. Hollywood is a brilliant example of this. Okay, you see them at the Oscars and they're like, and then Hot Mess Central, Michael Jackson, let's just use him for an example. like really sad case of he had a stage presence, projected self-image, yet he was behind the scenes, like he was trying to change his own skin color paradigms around his skin color. Paradigms around all of it. Okay, so you are always a reflection of what's on the inside. And I mean, look at how that ended up. So we know, yes, you're built from your genes. You got, but how you were raised, this is like a huge. And again, go back to Michael Jackson. We are aware of that story. Okay, if you understand yourself, you are more likely to be able to attach yourself to this really good self-image. But your image can always be improved. Always. Okay. Like I said, I keep saying that your self-image is like a thermostat. So an actual thermostat in your house is a cybernetic mechanism, right? So if I have it set at 70, and I mean, currently I'm living in Canada, my kids leave the front door open in January and the cold air comes in, my thermostat is going to, the temperature is going to start to drop, but my thermostat's going to kick on and it's going to kick on the furnace and it's going to bring it back to 70. Okay. Yours is doing the same thing. You might be like, I want $1 million. But if your self-image is set at 30K, you just think, oh, I must not be meant to have $1 million because I earned 30K again this year. It's just your programming. Don't worry. We have to reprogram you to start thinking $1 million ideas. You're not thinking $1 million ideas. Is this ringing true for anyone? When I'm down? Okay. So what I want you to do, and this is your homework. So for those of you that have your workbook, I want you to really reflect on and think of yourself, into the future. What do you desire? Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to write out a scenario of your current life story. And I want you to acknowledge how it currently is. Productive habits, your non-productive beliefs, your non-productive behaviors. The non-productive would be like, I pass a mirror and I cringe at myself. I get stuck in the scroll hole for hours a day, 8 days a week. I have I eat foods that aren't serving my body. I don't believe in exercising, right? Like these sorts of things. Okay. They're not really productive. They're not going to help you move yourself forward. Okay. So you're going to write down all of them. And you can even they'll counteract each other because there's an opposite, remember? So every productive activity will also have a non-productive activity on the same one. Okay. So what I want you to do is your challenge is I want you to take that page and I want to cut it down the middle. And I want you to take that right side, that NPA list of all those non-productive, and I want you to have yourself a little shredding, cutting, burning ceremony. I personally like to burn it. That's just me. Maybe being a pyro is on my NPA list. I don't know. Okay. But I want you to literally release those behaviors, those thoughts, those patterns. And I want you to take a picture of it. I would love for you to post it and tag me. That would be amazing. And it would totally be a very clear message to the universe that you mean business. Okay. And then that's what also is going to enter you into win the prizes. Okay. But really meditate, relax, get connected with your truth. And I want you to start asking yourself, what else do I want? What's holding me back from achieving it? Okay. And I want you to liberate yourself. I want you to burn, shred, cut up, whatever, that one side of the page. Okay. And I want you to start filling in the bubbles, the thought bubbles. There's thought bubbles there too. Put in the middle of that middle circle what it is you want. and then all the thoughts that you have about that one thing. That'll help you fill in your NPA and PA list too. Okay? Deal? Deal. Before we hop off, I noticed I have Janice, are you here? Janice. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Hey. I thought I saw you there.
I've been here the whole time.
I know. I love it. I want to ask you. So we've been working together now. What? A month?
We're on week 6.
Week 6. Okay. Tell me about what your life looked like 6 weeks ago.
Pretty messy. Pretty much like a hot mess in many, many ways.
Okay. So hot mess central. I wouldn't say she was a complete hot mess, you guys. Janice is pretty awesome. But these are her words. Okay. So what had you kind of make the decision that like something's got to change? What was kind of the catalyst?
It was that I was working with a business coach on my business, and everything that she was telling me to do, my logical mind grasped. But then when I sat down to take action, I was just frozen. And it was this realization, it's my paradigm. I know it's something I'm thinking. I know exactly what I need to do to move my business forward, but I can't shift my thinking. And it was no joke, probably within a week, our kids played together. I met you, and I'm like, holy Hannah, her job is to shift paradigms. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I need. Because I know what I need to do, but I just couldn't do it.
Yep. And you're brilliant at what you do. Like absolutely beautiful work, right? And I don't know if anybody else resonates with that. Like I know just hearing Janice, I'm like, oh, that's it. It's that we call it that knowing doing gap. Like I know what to do. I know the processes, but I'm not doing them. Why? The paradigm. You nailed it. Absolutely. So we've been doing this now for just 6 weeks, and you are having like crazy awesome, like you've manifested amazing things already. Tell me about it.
It's unbelievable. So for example, one of the things I was frozen on was I knew what I needed to do to write proposals to get more business, but I just kept on dragging my heels. And then there was one that was really hard and I kept on procrastinating because it was hard. And then I was like, no, just do it. I can get this. And I changed my mindset. Like myself 7 weeks ago would be thinking, oh, what's the point? You're going to put all this work into a proposal and you're not going to get it. What a waste of time. But I changed the way I was thinking, and it was, I'm getting this. It's happening. And I put it in, and on Monday, I found out that I got it. And it's my biggest client to date.
Yep.
Boom. I was shocked. Yeah.
And it was easy. Was it really hard?
The old me wouldn't have even written it because it'd be like, oh no, I'll never forget that project. It's too big.
Yeah.
And I got it. And it's 3 to 5 years worth of work.
Yeah. And was it really hard?
I went to the beach and wrote it.
What?
It ended up being so easy.
Imagine.
Yeah. I procrastinated till the 11th hour. And then I was like, man, now it's Saturday. I don't want to be at my desk. So I hopped in the car, drove it to the beach, sat in the chair, and it was just like, I'm like, are you kidding me? It can be this easy.
Yeah.
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 I spent more time imagining how hard it was.
Right.
Actually doing it was not hard at all.
Yes. And now you get to borrow that belief. You get to say, oh, if I can do it this time, I can do it this time. And then it leads to another win and another win. And then before you know it, it's what we call a quantum leap, where you go like this, you're getting results, but then it's like, And
Can't
it's
wait.
crazy, right? So
It's happening.
it is
Yep.
happening. It's inevitable. So good. So what would you say? So there's people right now, they're going like, I don't know. I think Janice and Dylan, they're an anomaly. There's no way that this is like real stuff. And they're getting in their own way. Their paradigms are coming in and they're like, oh, I don't know. What do you say? What do you say
It's
to them?
garbage. It's garbage. It's not true. It's not true.
Yeah.
It's like my entire life, I gave myself these stories about why I couldn't do things and, oh, someone over there is lucky. That's why they did this. And it's not, it's the way they think.
Yeah.
Your thinking defines everything.
Yeah. It is.
And I look back on my life and it's like all the crappy stuff I attracted. And I thought it was, oh, it's my ex-husband's fault, or it's my asshole boss's fault, or it's my parents' fault. It's always someone's fault. It's like, nope, I attracted that because that's what I was thinking. It's nobody's fault.
Nope.
It's on me. And if I can manifest that stuff, I can also manifest what I really want, because until 6 weeks ago, I never sat down to think about it. It was just like, oh, my life's defined by whatever's around me, and that's just the way it is.
Right.
But it's the polar opposite, which I'm like, hallelujah, finally I get it.
It just feels better, right? And don't you find
it's supposed to be?
That's right. And it's supposed to be easy. Like we weren't put on this earth and your source creators like dangling this carrot in front of your face going, do you want it? Do you want it? Oh, no, you can't. No, it's not supposed to be that way. It's literally out there going, give her whatever she's thinking about. Give her whatever she's thinking about. Oh, she wants that job? Boom. 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 And next, Janice, it's going to be the house and the like everything that's on your desires list. It's inevitable. How cool is that?
It's amazing.
I know.
And this is just for people out there who are like, oh, I don't know. Honestly, this is where I'm coming from. Getting a divorce during a pandemic, losing all my money, losing my house, single mom, 8-year-old, 10-year-old. Not sunshine and roses, but it's like, I know with every fiber of my being, it's turning around. I used to be so stressed and worried. It's like, doesn't matter. It all happened for me. Not going to bemoan any of it. It's moving forward, and I know I can get what I want. Done.
It's done. Assume if you have desired it, you are meant to have it. Assume that. We assume the opposite. That, like Janice just said, that we're stuck in our circumstances, and we're not. Janice, would you say that you're understanding now that it is your responsibility to do the work inside of you?
110%.
Right. It is up to us. And anything outside of us that brings us joy, like your partner, like your job, like your government, like your kids, those are perks. It starts with you. Your self-love, your self-image, your ability to know that you're worth it. That's where it starts. I love it. And I love that. And it doesn't have to take a long time. Janice is on week 6, you guys. And you were actually started like I would say like week even 3, you were like, this just happened and this just happened. We study together every single day, and every single day Janice has been like, it's like you can see the little light bulbs. Oh, I love it. So good. Awesome. Well, I know that you guys will resonate with Janice's story, and you guys all have your own stories too. And you're supposed to, you're meant to. You're not supposed to have the same story as everybody else. And your story moving forward is not supposed to be the same either. So gone with comparison. Identify what your story is. Identify what's holding you back and release it. Get rid of it. Be gone. Deal? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I will see you back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, and we are going to get the job done. Deal? Deal. Thank you guys. Have an awesome day.